elite. And that's why when somebody says Kenyans have got the leaders they deserve, that's factually correct. Factually correct. Because why would somebody have issues with William Ruto, for instance, and tell you that the alternative is Fred Matiang'i, or the alternative is Jimmy Wanjigi, or the alternative is Martha Karua, or Rigathi? Now, that person is part of the problem. He's no better than this political elite who we're complaining about every now and then. He's not. He's very cynical. He doesn't have a problem with corruption. He has a problem with who is perpetrating the corruption. He has no problem with the extrajudicial executions. He has a problem with who is killing Kenyans. Can you get it? He doesn't have a problem with ethnicity. He has a problem with who is presiding over ethnicity. Can you get it? How different is that person from William Ruto or Uhuru Kenyatta or Mwai Kibaki? So we have to begin from ourselves. And Hillary, I think we're losing it. Chacha talked about Elachi.
Yes, Western. I know. That's why we are saying that moving forward.
National dialogue. Hillary, national dialogue.
Okay.
We need national dialogue. Just an honest national dialogue. Don't quote the Constitution, because they don't adhere to the Constitution. So it doesn't matter how many times you quote it. It doesn't matter how many times you invoke chapter 6 on integrity. They have no room for integrity. They're not going to listen to you. We need a national dialogue. National dialogue means honesty, means integrity. You don't come there to protect your parochial interests. You don't come there to represent an ethnic group or a region. You come there to talk about Kenya. Kenya that you wish to bequeath to posterity. That's what we need. National dialogue. And it needs a lot of honesty from the religious fraternity.
How can we shift this? How can we initiate this? Say that we now 200 people here. This national dialogue. Go ahead, Western.
Yes, we can initiate. People can petition. People, because the supreme power lies with the people of Kenya. So if we say we don't think elections are going to resolve our issues, in fact, they will exacerbate them. We just want to begin afresh. All these reports by all sorts of commissions that are lying in abeyance, we want these reports to be implemented. People have stolen from Kenyans, for instance. You see, in Kenya, it's difficult to talk about equality because there are historical injustices. People have stolen from others. We can give you amnesty as a country. We will give you amnesty. Please return to the people of Kenya what you have stolen within this period. If you don't, whoever Kenyans will put in power has got their full mandate to come after you, irrespective of your status in life, irrespective of your ethnicity. No one will rally behind you. We have to make that commitment as a country, so that if people come after William Ruto, Kalenjins will not rise up in the streets. Okay, we can have elections and replace William Ruto with somebody like William Ruto. I think we're just as cynical as they are. And I wanted to land on this note, Hillary, just to prove a point that when politicians consistently behave immorally, they do damage to the society. The Beatrice Elachi tragedy, that death, if you have noticed, the Kenyan society is increasingly becoming desensitized from tragedy, from death, that people can celebrate when somebody dies. Let me put it to you. In fact, even in war, barbarism is not allowed. And that's why if you desecrate dead soldiers and if you kill people wantonly, you're going to be held to account, even as a soldier. The sanctity of human life. If you desecrate tombs, you're going to be held accountable for that. Because no civilized society casualizes death. But if you look, we're actually casualizing death. Casualizing death, that people can celebrate when somebody dies. That shows that we're losing empathy. And when you lose empathy, actually you're degenerating to a level that is worse than that of beasts. Because it's empathy that makes us human. That you can feel the pain of the other person, even if that pain is not affecting you directly, but you put yourself in the shoes of that other person. Secondly, what makes us civilized, Hillary, is that even when you wrong me, I still must affirm your humanity and insist that I'm not going to wish you that worst treatment that you subjected to me. I won't. Because if you're barbaric, but treating other human beings barbarically, those human beings must remind you about your barbarism by reminding you how civilized human beings behave. So we have got barbaric politicians, and unfortunately, they're infecting the rest of the society with their barbarism. We lose our sense of humanity. We become desensitized to other people's pain and death. Now, that is a spiral to the bottomless pit, and it must be arrested very fast. If not, don't be surprised if we wake up there's genocide in Kenya, because you must lose the sanctity of humanity. Now, when a society loses that, then you can trivialize human life, and we can easily degenerate to the level Rwanda was in 94. I'm telling you, it's very scary and it's worrisome. I learned, Hillary.
I'm sorry. Thank you so much for that, Weston. You also said that we need national dialogue, and that's the way to go. Redemptor, pick it up from there, where Weston, then Povekali, you can lead a little bit.
Thank you very much, Hillary. I hope you're all well. And thank you to the Wazalendos who commit their time to the conversation. I think this is a national dialogue, only that one group is speaking to one another, and then another group is speaking to one another, but people are speaking. To the IEBC conversation, before I skip and go off key, I think we don't have faith in ourselves, in the sense that by the time someone is agreeing to take a job at IEBC, they know it's a suicidal mission. They know their lives will never be the same again. That no matter what they do, Kenyans have zero trust in the institution. People who are conscientious have no age, they have no class, they have no background. So sometimes I think we demonize professionals who've had jobs in some of these places, and they can never be good people because they associated one time they were in this faction, the other time they were in this faction. And these are some people who work very hard to be in those positions, and they have mastered the art of going for interviews. Maybe they are connected, maybe when they show up at interviews because they are familiar, apart from the monkey business that goes on. That one, the monkey business goes on. Because I want to believe in Kenya, there are people who are conscientious, they have a sense of right and wrong, and they want to do the right thing. Sometimes they get overpowered by the other group. They get outnumbered. They cannot change the system changes them. So I would wish that maybe I'm an idealist. I do believe whatever is meant for good can turn out for evil, can turn out for good, that you can actually appoint somebody. Maybe I'm a storyteller who is got a terminal illness and decides, you know what, before I die, I'll do the right thing. You never know. That one I'm leaving it there. That the people's will, people's determinations, people's resilience, the people's anger, frustration does not have a class. There are civil servants who are as frustrated as people who are speaking on social media, but by virtue of their jobs, they cannot speak. Why do we keep having exposes? Why do we know the money that has been taken from this pocket to this pocket? It's because there are civil servants who keep whistleblowing. Maybe they don't do it enough times. And I think the best place, one of the takeaways for me, is that we have to start whistleblowing on our own so that we cure ourselves of tribalism. And that's where Mwaura was saying, just because you voted for Kibaki, or you voted for Uhuru, or you liked Uhuru because it reminded you of Kenyatta, of the first Kenyatta, like my mother, you have to be the one who says, you know what, this system has been like this, but we are living with a generation that sees. This generation sees. It does not mean they do the right thing. It doesn't mean they are right. It doesn't mean, but they see. And when they see, they speak. For example, they will sing a song, Sikuchuki na Kudharau. Now, when you come and keep saying, do you love your country? I really wanted the person who, I think it was Steve Biko, when he was asked, what does loving your country entail? He didn't answer. And I really wanted to hear the answer, because this is a point that is being pushed a lot lately. It's been said by these state security agents that how much do you hate your country? Now, the generational difference is, if it was me speaking to them, I'll say, no, I don't hate you. I don't hate my country, I hate you. That's what a younger person would say. But because we are in another generation of being politically correct, I'll say, no, it's not that I hate my country, I hate corruption, and you can see what I've posted. But the truth is, some people, when they say love the country, they are saying love me, love us, love the elitists, love the rich kids, because we've been rich all our lives. Our fathers were PCs, ministers, whatever, and they were loved by the people. So how dare you not love us? Because they actually been in the system for 30 years, 40 years, all their lives they were born rich. Even this your great man, the Raila Odinga, his father was a prime minister. So he was also always loved, because at that time we idolized those offices. So when some of these people say love your country, Steve Biko, they're not saying love your country, because loving your country is doing what we are doing today. It means we stopped everything we were going and we started speaking truth to power. Stop killing our young people. That is what loving our country entails. So the ruling class have made Kenya their business, and they are Kenya. So when they say you people are not patriotic enough because you don't love your country, they think they are Kenya. They actually believe they are Kenya. They actually believe Kenya is theirs. And the only sign of showing you love your country is to agree with them, to praise them. And I'll say one of the action plans we have to go for. I'll give an example of kissing, for example. We have great men who've come from that land. And today we hear them saying they do not want Maraga presidency because it's not good for their community. Who told them the president is for their community? We are trying to get out of this, and you're taking us right back there. So if you come from that community, an actionable plan is to have an engagement with the people from Kisii and say, if you give us Maraga and you give us Matiang'i, sorry, I'm not going to call them their big titles for now because of time. Please, it is the Kenyans who decide of these two who represent the values they are fighting for, or who are they running away from? Who reminds them of where we've come from? Extrajudicial killings, standing for the truth, saying you've never taken a bride and actually behaving in a way that we can believe you, unlike the other guy with red bottom shoes. It's not about your tribe. It's just a privilege that you bore as a son who is good enough to be a president. So an actionable thing is we go back to these tribal cocoons where we are being dragged back to. And we know the ones who feel more entitled than others. Right now, because you have these great names coming from you come now. No, it's us to decide which of our sons we are giving. No, 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 no. It is the Kenyans to decide which of your sons we like, and we have reasons to like. So that's an actionable thing. And very quickly, I want to just do my final submission and say this, because my area is communication and narratives, and I've already said anybody who's coming and saying love your country, you're saying, some of you mean love your country, please pacify, please don't criticize, please don't remind us that people got killed in June. Please, let's do what we used to do. People get killed, and no, how come all of a sudden you're talking about deaths and 2023 people died? That's loving your country. That we keep covering up, accepting and moving on, is that loving your country? So I do believe that a conscientious nation can arise from 3 people out of a million. Just 3. 3 people who decide to do the right thing and do it consistently. And that's why I commend Hillary, because you've done this show when you have 80,000 people. You've done it, I think you got to a million, and you've done it when you have 50 people. Because it means you've decided to be a platform, a baraza. This is a baraza. Those of us who can't go to Bunge la Mwananchi every other day, we come here and we speak our mind. So let me tell you a final submission. What I hear people saying, people do not trust nature. And nature is that when there's going to be a flood, like we saw, is it Bangkok, is it Thailand, we're seeing funny things happening in a building, that is supposed to be very sound. People do not trust that when this flood comes, there's no gate that you put in that dam that will hold the flood. And so all these things that people are putting in place, a container full of money, having money 20 million per stopover when you're going to Murima, and people going to State House saying they're going for development, but what they're going for is handouts. And how do I know this? Is because Moi used to do it. And we know the other day, Amze said the presidency of Moi, because people are seeing, maybe his mind is twisted in that way. Maybe he really is a Kenyan who remembers how Moi used to operate. People used to go and give money but take envelopes. Some were bringing envelopes, others were taking envelopes. Now, remember, we would have famines, we would have national disasters in this country, and people will be told to go to State House and give money. So that is still happening when you're being told your pay slip is what is going to be used to build affordable housing. So people must trust. One, we have to trust ourselves that we never saw the young people going to the streets in the numbers they did. If it happened before, it can happen again. Probably the people in power have said over my dead body, it will never happen again. But dead body is guaranteed because of mortality. We are all going to die. So you can swear all you want, you can put all your apparatus in place, but the law of nature demands that if change is here, there's nothing you can do to stop the change from coming. So that's why I say we should have more trust in that the nature. When change has to happen, we speak about it, we say this is how we are going to do it, but the change will happen. And IEBC can actually deliver us an election. It did in 2002. And I do know Maura, accept what you said, what happened with the Kivuitos and the rest. The other thing I want to talk about is the young people, and this one nimeweka kofia ya mwandishi na mtetezi, nizungumze kama mzazi niseme hivi. The young people of this country have some unfinished business with the politicians, and then they have refused to acknowledge that. And I speak this as a mzazi, that when we offend our children, when we hurt our children, when we violate our children, unlike another generation where they used to carry their pain to the grave, this generation will take drugs. They will overcome and not take drugs and fight for their lives as if their lives depends on it, because it does. And they will tell you the truth. They will go kicking and screaming, telling you, you violated me, you hurt me. So the young people of this country have some unfinished business with these people. Speaking of us lacking our utu, which I saw what I'll name the names. I feel unfortunate, sad actually, for the Honorable Beatrice. I've even called her Honorable because nasikia oye, for losing her son. And I also feel sad for the son that his memory became a political thing. And maybe this is just, again, what we call karma, that you go to people's funeral to talk politics, and what they end up doing. It ended up being more, she tried to talk about the hardships that parents are going through. I heard Herman Manyore also talk about the drugs and the problems of the youth, and the danger the youth is. What I want to tell the older generation, because I had another mheshimiwa in charge of internal security go to a place and say, youth on social media on drugs. Drugs have no class. Drugs are pain, are symptoms of pain. People who are trying to numb their pain. It starts out as a social event, social activity, entertainment. It becomes now dependency. And if the youth are using drugs and coming to social media, then it's youth from across the board. It's not youths that love or hate the government. And now you understand what I'm saying when I mean love and hate the government. The politicians continually refuse to read the mood of the country. When you talk about youth coming to social media because they're on drugs, you forget the government also uses social media. You forget Hillary and I are not the youth, but we are here, and Dr. Milton. Maybe these guys are younger than me, but you actually take a good thing like the social media and you make it the enemy. Because what is happening with our politicians, they are so used to having each other as the enemy. It's not Kenyan. So they've united as politicians. And so now we've become the enemy because they have to have an enemy. And so I'll still send my condolences, and I'll say they lost their Utu first. It's not who did what first, who became desensitized first. And if you are a Christian, you know, if you let these little ones stumble, I don't know, wale mnasoma Biblia, mwaora mtanimalizia, sijui mawe itafungwa kwa shingo yenu ndio mkue sank msikaitokelezea tena. If you make these little ones stumble, that's what I'm saying. So the older generations have stumbled the younger generation. And so when you come here and now put us in a blanket that tumepoteza utu, who started the utulessness first? How do we have a dialogue with 1 Millie Odhiambo who says, let's talk, because what has become of us? And the way she's talking, she's saying, let's stop talking down on each other, but she's actually talking down. The person who saw sense in that conversation, and let's give, even if he's doing it from I don't know what intentions, was one Mr. Dimples, one governor of Nairobi, who said, when these people, it's not what you're seeing is not anger, what you're seeing is pain. And let's give him the credit where it's due. That's the state of the nation. People are hurting. but they refuse to believe. So they end up saying, you don't love your country. We are inviting anarchy. Anarchy is when there's no justice in the country. We are already there. It's only that now that the mali umetafuta, it's not been touched, you're still feeling it's safe. We talk down on them if we use security operators to befriend, because wanauma wakipuliza, they've come to show us, oh, we are not so harmful after all. Knowing the damage that was done last year, I think they would have done better in that was it a public lecture? They would have identified fake NIS, how the word NIS is used to terrorize us. I live in constant fear. Every meeting I go to, I start identifying who has been there, sent there to spy on us, and who's going to be responsible for me being abducted. That's what they should have addressed. This Ruto must go immediately. They touched it because they are not doing the research. The last thing I'll say is behavioral scientists have failed us in this country. We come here as media practitioners, as communicators, but we never hear anything from the behavioral scientists, the psychologists, to tell us the psyche of the nation and the pulse of the nation when it comes to our mental wellness. What the behavioral scientists are very good at, the merchandise, the paid ones, they are the political, analytical things. I don't want to mention their name, who come and study us and listen to what they are saying, and then they go and tell the politician, this is where the danger is, improve on this one. The youth bulge is the danger. Then you go and tell the youth bulge you're on social media, you're stupid, you're on drugs. Then they don't listen to those people who give them advices about human behavior. So to all the people who are hurting in this country, Dr. Milton always starts by paying respect for the ones who shed their blood, but for the ones who are really also hurting and traumatized from all the events of last year and the state of the nation, economy, psychology, spiritual, I really do wish you healing. If this national dialogue is going to be sponsored by government, there will be no national dialogue. They'll just have meetings, very expensive meetings, and come and talk down on each other. So another actionable plan, Hillary, when we plan a national dialogue platform, just look for everyone who hosts space, anyone who is big on Facebook, on TikTok, and say, let's come together on such and such a day. We are going to have a national dialogue, and we'll talk about the pain that we are carrying, because there's a lot of pain. I agree. There's a lot of anger, but there's also determination. There's also the love for country that keeps us going. And there's also determination to make this country a better country. It's been fought for before, and maybe this is the best fight. We won't have the saviors who look like they're savers, but they have interests. Honestly, niliwaambia in terms of presidential candidate, musiekelee bet, but I like the names that keep coming up, and there's hope for this country. Hillary, I've overtalked, and in this show, so maybe I've abused my privileges, but I had just to get that off my chest, that the young people of this country, Kenya cares about you, because we are Kenya, even when we are here, when I host spaces and when Hillary hosts spaces, we are representation of, there are people willing to talk to us and to listen to us. So please ask for the mic and come to talk to us. Na msitumie ile lugha mbaya mbaya, hiyo tumechoka hata sisi. So we care about you, we care about the things that you're going through in terms of not having jobs, about your state of mental health, your social lives. We do care about it. And the only way to overcome all these social problems we have is to fix the politics of this country. Thank you very much.
Right. Go ahead. Go ahead. You can give a bish as you go ahead. Yes.
It's okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Hilary. And thank you so much, Redemptor, for all that. That is very rich information that we really need at this time. Let's hear from Fabish. After Fabish, Biko is having the hands up. Biko, come after Fabish. Thank you.
Asante sana Hilary, asante co-host na kila mtu. First, I think I will start with a short prayer. In the name of the Father, the Holy Spirit, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Ruto must go. This, I think in this country, we have two sets of constitution. That is what I came to realize. Because anytime that we speak, we are reminded of a constitution. And the constitution that we are reminded differs a lot with the constitution that we know. The other day, we saw the CDF, KAHARIRI, coming to tell us about the Ruto must go slogan and the constitution. And when he was expected by the said constitution to come out and defend the people to be is to defend the people of internal aggression. When our youths were killed on the streets, felled by guns, he did not speak, he did not come to defend, he did not talk about the constitution. But now, when people are expressing themselves, actually empowered by the constitution, is now coming to lectures that it is against the constitution. We don't know the type of constitution they are reading and the one we are reading. Today, also the same people, CS of security, coming to tell us that by us talking online, we are either drunkards or under the influence of drugs. He did not stop there. And he said that freedom without control is not freedom. And you would wonder, how do you put freedom and control in one sentence? So I think they have their own different version of constitution that we are not aware of. And that's why I want to agree with Western that, when we talk about the constitution in this country, I think we have very different interpretation, or maybe there's another document that Kenyans are not aware of. However, what I think it will not work is what we call the national dialogue. The dialogue that we are talking about, I think we have done a lot of dialogue. Before Constitution 2010, there was a lot of dialogues. Bomas, there was dialogue. Kikambala Kule, there was another dialogue. I don't know where there was a dialogue. Recently, there was what we call national dialogue, later broad-based government. What is always the outcome of the dialogue? They will say.
But Fabish, as you go ahead, I'm not cutting you short. But this one, were we involved? Were you, as a person, Fabish, all those dialogues that were going on? Were you part and parcel of it? And that's what we are talking about. Go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, when you talk of we being involved, first by we being involved, that is already put us outside of the decision of the dialogue, because we have to be involved by certain structures. So what do you think you will create an impact? It is like now we are always told of public participation. What impact has that public participation created? You go, you submit whatever you are submitting, but the decisions rest on the people, that they are the one, in charge. So when you call us that let us come and have a dialogue, by the virtue that you are the one that is inviting us to the table of dialogue, you already have a upper hand. So now that is why I always said that this country, it is redeemable in all manner how we try to, turn upside down. Because the only way is to level this country. Then now we start afresh. There is no one that have a upper hand of, that said, I'm the one that is calling you, come and sit with me. Because if Hillary today you call me, now you are in your space. You call us to have a dialogue. You have a upper hand. I talk something that you feel is not okay, you can vomit me out. You can mute me, or you can even drop me. That is exactly. You call me to State House, you call me to wherever you are calling me. You have a upper hand. I talk whatever is not pleasing you. You have that, latitude of either deleting whatever I'm bringing in, or you have a upper hand. So there's no way that you are going to dialogue with someone that is already holding a power. We need, when we are talking of dialogue, it should be from zero. Hillary as Hillary, Fabish as Fabish, not Hillary as host and Fabish as speaker. So when I'm talking, not Ruto as president and Fabish as ordinary citizen, and you are telling me that we hold a dialogue. If there will be meaningful dialogue, then we need to bring everything down. Then now we start a new dialogue as there were some people that they were called. We don't know the criteria because, Hillary, there is no way we are going to sit down 50 million Kenyans and talk. We'll be told choose people. Kina Hillary tafuteni watu. You guys were represented. There were organizations. There were, civil rights groups. They were there. I don't know, there were religious leaders. You are represented. There were youth leaders. They came. We take the report. That's what they will tell you. You are represented. Because there is no way we will have 50 million Kenyans people. Where will we sit and have discussion? So in all this discussion, you'll always be told that you are represented. What will be the final outcome? You'll be told that there is a document that is generated. What will be the purpose of that document? Because the document that we generated in 2010 is not functioning, and it was supposed to be a supreme one. So I don't.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Action
So
steps.
now, to me, like now, we are talking of election 2027, and we see people that they are presenting themselves, and we want to interrogate: are they really, the leaders that we hope? They are the opposite of this status quo. For example, I like calling them by names. You see somebody like Matiang'i. If Matiang'i and William Ruto, you compare them, William Ruto will be angel. I'll be, I can even gladly go to polling station 10 o'clock and even vote for William Ruto and get the votes. Now come another Maraga, as old man, 74-year-old man. Before 2027, he'll be 77-year-old man. Now, if we are to take this country to the next level in terms of technology, in terms of what, will he be able to deliver? He was the president of one arm of the government. Now, when you check to
But
the Supreme
Fabi,
Court,
that's very true. That's very true. But the focus is not even the presidency so much, but this team that is being going on, elected now or being registered. We are basically on IBC. We don't want to talk to the president, and we don't want to endorse anybody in this platform.
So when we talk of the IBC, there is no, what is happening is exactly what we should expect. We cannot expect more than this, because the people and how the system is working, it is the same thing that I applied, and this was they shortlisted. We follow the laws, we follow this one, and that is how it is. Now we are thinking, what will we do? Will we go to the court to stop them? If we stop them, do we have that laxity of time? Is election 2027 going to be held, or is going to be postponed because of time constraint? Are we ready to postpone the election so that we can have a dialogue and get the right, or should we stick to our timeline and where future will be determined in 2027? Because by Kenyans saying Ruto must go is not just a mere slogan. So in whatever direction election will go in 2027, but still Kenyans will demand Ruto must go. So to me, I think it doesn't matter hata akiweka Charlene Ruto, hata akiweka Rachel Ruto akuwe chairman wa IBC. I think Ruto must go, is unstoppable, and it is a breakup or makeup in 2027. That is what I can say.
Then after that, we have Mr. Daniel and Mr. Collins in that order. Thank you so much. Steve.
Thank you. I just came back again to clarify on something. When I said that we must love our country, what I meant was we must come out and call a spade, because we cannot wait anymore for someone to save us. Nobody will save us. We must love our country. What I mean is, the IBC, I don't think even Kenyans trust IBC. What we should do is, When the election comes, can we come all of us out and make sure that elections are free and fair? All of us. All of us. We must love our country, even if it's, they decide to do whatever, even if it's 3 days, 4 days. Just say me sitalala, sitafanya nini. I must make sure that this election must be free and fair. That's what I mean by loving your country. Those who died last year, they died because they love their country. They didn't just die like that. They died because they love their country. So that's what I mean. Let's stand out. Whatever happens, let's stand out and love our country. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. We loving our country. Yes, we love our country, and that's why we are fighting for that good governance that we are looking for. Thank you so much. Let's hear from Mr. Daniel. Then we go to Mr. Collins. Mr. Daniel.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I may want to contribute on the IEBC and the state of the nation. And one, for the IEBC, I think, elections are done from the polling station. When the voters vote, and then the tallying is done, for me, what I can say, we must not really wait for the chairman to, I don't know where this issue of manipulation of that forms come from when we have agents from the polling station who verifies when the tallying is done. For example, for the presidential forms, the 34A. So when the forms are being signed, like a certain candidate got these and the other got these, I really wonder why people can come out to complain about this, because if we have agents, every candidate, maybe presidential candidate, has got an agent on the polling station. I happened to conduct election last election, and I felt like last election, and I felt like if this election, I felt slightly this election, if can do their additions so that they can be able to know the approximate number of votes before even the chairman announces. So even the chairman announces. So the thing that could even annul that election. If there was no difference than the form I submitted from polling difference than the form I submitted from polling station A is not different from what I submitted. Then that will be all in vain. We need to be very, very, very. We need to put these people into account. You know, as much as we can talk a lot. This country, as long as we are also tribal, like this country, we can mention about the Murima, the Western world, the Nyanza, then it means we cannot really cure the problems of this country. If we can have somebody who has got you know, the heart of the people, maybe distribute resources equally without maybe considering that these people maybe voted. Like, I happen to come from Kisi, you know, maybe Kisi, I don't know, because we have measured, we want to have a candidate maybe in the coming election. I have never seen Ruto come to Kisi maybe to launch some projects. So it's like politics. It's ni kitu ya kugawa tu resources. If you supported the government, then you get resources, and if you didn't, you expect little to be done in that area of your area, and then maybe if you happen to be in government next time, maybe you expect more resources to come to your place. So with kind of that politics, then we don't expect. If that is the mentality, that is the mentality our leaders have, then it means we can't have an equal country. Tutang'ang'ana tu, lakini hizo shida zitaendelea tu kukuja na kurudia. Asante.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel, for your submission. And guys, as we will be trying to wind up the discussion for today, please, when you get the mic, please try to restrict at least to 2 minutes each so that we can proceed and maybe do the wind up. So I'll get back to Mr. Collins, then I will move to Mr. Tomboya Collins.
Thank you. Mine, I will just be brief, and I will just wanted to highlight about 2 things. First of all, we are the 2 houses. We are have really let down the Kenyan people, and our problem and our conversation, we have already shifted our blame to the presidency. And if you look at what the 2 houses have done to the Kenyan people, it's terrible. And I was requesting if maybe in the next State of the Nation, we can talk about the 2 houses of parliament. Secondly, about the IEBC. IEBC set a bad precedence from 2007 up to date. And there's a feeling among our Kenyans that even the coming election, we are not sure what will happen, because the politicians are normally micromanaging everything they wanted to do. So we need to be vigilant. We need to make noise as much as we can as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that quick submission. Let's hear from Mr. Tomboya. After that, we will hear from Mr. Samuel, then Mr. Steve. Mr. Steve Amenya. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll be brief. So far, we've reached here, and it's like we are writing a history because we've consistently talked. And I'll just urge us to continue educating each other. As time goes, young people are growing and they are getting the information. We will be able to make decisions on the ballot with our brains, not with a brainwashed mindset. So let us keep talking. And this is happening just as my elder sister Redemptor said, when a change comes, it is inevitable. It is just the law of nature. So let us have hope, regardless of how the perpetrators of iniquity and adversities that we are experiencing uh, appear to be more confident on whatever direction they are taking. Let us not lose hope. Let us keep educating each other. Let us keep talking. And I thank Hillary for his consistency on the pressure point. That is the message we are going to continue sharing and advocating for. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You are a gentleman. And let's go to Samuel. Then we go to Steve Amenya. Samuel. Samuel, you are the speaker. Thank you. Mr. Samuel, I can't hear you speak. I think Mr. Samuel is having some little issue. Can we get to Mr. Steve Amenya, please? Thank you.
Thank you. I was just chiming back in to maybe speak on one or two things that people have touched on. First of all, I mean, my brother Fabish, he spoke about someone like Maraga and tried to point to age as a reason why we should not consider him as a candidate, a possible candidate for 2027, a progressive candidate. I don't think age is a big issue here. I think it's someone's track record and integrity. That's what we are looking at. We have had presidents who have even risen to power, like a prime minister in Malaysia, Mahathir Mohamad, 92, when he came back to, because people looked at his track record and thought he could contribute. So as long as someone still has their faculties, they're able to stand in the moment when someone needs to stand. Maraga is a person who was even bribed, allegedly bribed a lot of money, 200 million, but he did not take it in 2017. That is someone who can withstand pressure. And that's what we need at this moment to stand in that place for Kenya. But that's not my main point, really. My main point I wanted to put across is, and that's why I came back, really, because I've spoken earlier, is that I would like us to see, I'd like us to make tangible, actionable items out of these meetings that we're having. Otherwise, we end up having talk shops. And one thing I'd like to propose, as I earlier proposed, that we need to, have a way of supporting candidates who are willing to come out, who want to run for different levels, maybe by printing their posters. That is one way of us being active in this thing. So if we sort of come up with such tangible and actionable items, and then we work together towards it, that will go a long way towards us mobilizing and achieving what we want to get in 2027. And another thing that I think is very necessary, as I wrap up, is I think the need for us to have a secretariat, because we are fighting an enemy, as someone said earlier, like Ruto, who's got immense resources, who as we know, does not even sleep. Some people say that. So there's no way we can defeat him if we don't outfight, outwit, outthink, outmaneuver, outcampaign, out everything. And not just Ruto, we are trying to uproot a 60-year-old kleptocracy, a government run by thieves. This has been going on since independence, 60 plus years now. And we think it's going to be a walk in the park, like we just gonna walk our way and find our way in State House and with all leaders in all ranks who are willing to move Kenya in a totally different direction where we are pro people. It's not gonna just happen like that. We have to sit down, we have to plan meticulously. It has to be planning, mobilization, and acting in a meticulous way. Otherwise, we'll be back here on this talk show not talk shop really, but on these meetings in up post 2027, immediately after the election, we'll be talking about the same thing. I'm planning for 2032, and we'll never achieve anything. So I'd like us to move towards actionable items, even if they're small steps. Maybe you can say tonight, let us have, a few people, like 4 or 5. We know people who are trustworthy who've come to these shows. Let us have a secretariat that takes up these things, makes them actionable and actions them so that whenever we meet again next time, we are saying, okay, last time we discussed this, how far have we gone? We take at least half the time discussing on how far we've done. Of course, we can't discuss everything on this platform because we have people from the government who are listening, but at least let's have some high level things we can discuss to keep us progressing. Otherwise, we'll be forever talking and really not achieving much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Steve Amenya. Thank you so much for that quite impressive submission. Hatuna nchi hapa, nimeona umeingia. I'll give you time as we will be going from the final round. For those in the speakers, I'll be giving those in the speaker another time to give their submissions as we will be trying to wind up today's conversation. Hatuna nchi hapa.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. I would like to thank the previous speaker, and he was very meticulous in what he said. Actually, we should be having a track record of what we expect to do. I know there are a lot of NIS agents here, but really, we love our country. We really don't care. All we care about is for each and every common mwananchi to get what he deserves, because each one of them works very hard, wakes up very early in the morning, contributes to the basket of the country, but gets nothing in return. Anyway, this is what I would like to talk about. 3 things. Number 1 is IEBC. I think the bylaws that we have can protect us, because we know that elections are supposed to be decided at the constituency level. So basically what that means is even the media should be calling the election before the ratification is done. Just same way like what happens in the US. The media calls the election even before the electoral commission, goes ahead and ratifies everything. If we have people in each and every constituency, we have a right to that form. We have a right to take pictures of it. It is posted in the IEBC website. Then why not call that election? Why not have a credible election? I know the state will self-fear. The state will try to shortchange people. But if we stand steadfast, yes, that won't be an issue. But my problem is to the second point. Most of those candidates that are there are people who have been taking pictures with our unqualified president currently. And they have corruption smeared on all their faces. Very sad. But let me tell you one thing. If you have read the story of Saul and David and Goliath, you know that David had everything stacked against him, but he prevailed. Not only against Goliath, but also against Saul. Saul had all the state machinery. Saul had all the army. But what happened? Because David was anointed, he became king. And his reign and his son's reign, so that in Israel, gold was like chakula yenye unakula asubuhi na mchana. Anyway, my last thing that I'm going to talk about is the people saying Ruto must go are alcoholics. It's so funny that people who are drunk in power are complaining on people who are high on patriotism. It's a very sad state of affairs. People who are drunk in power, people who boast on social media of what they are wearing. People who have V8s going in counties that have no roads, boasting to people that want the best for their country, that they are drunkards. Anyway, it just beats logic. The second thing is our unable CS for finance, who commented that we should allow corruption so that the money, at least we should allow corruption so that the money that is contributed is spent in Kenya. Now, these two people should not even be holding office. If someone speaks like that in Japan right now, the whole country will descend into their houses. In Japan, people resign because the train came 2 seconds late. In Kenya, the country is 50 years behind of what it should be, but people don't care less of the state of the economy, of the state of education, of the state of healthcare. All these people that are promoting SHA, they have their own private hospitals, milking every single cent poor Kenyans have. It's very disheartening. As the previous speaker said, this is not going to be a walk in the park. But what we can do is we believe in a living God. And if we are astute and we believe that we will rescue our country, comrades, let's forge on. Ruto must go. Peace out.
Thank you so much, Tuna Inchi Hapa, for that, and we appreciate that. So, guys, let's take 2 minutes each. I see we have new members, that is Paul and Daniel. Daniel, will you please give us your submission, then Paul? Thank you.
I hope you can hear me because some static earlier. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to follow up on what Fabish. I wasn't going to talk actually, but I wanted to follow up on what Fabish was saying. And I think there's something we often forget as people, which is that there's a difference between abdicating power and delegating power. So what has happened in Kenya since independence is abdicating of power. And now, for the first time in probably ever, we are trying to then tell the people who are used to power being abdicated to them. By abdicating, I mean they are free to do whatever they want. And then they come and they give us some theater of stupid things around here. Agreements here with our political. All that has always been abdicating power. And now, for the first time ever, this is faced with the reality that what that was actually the problem. I hope, can you hear
Now
me
you're
clearly?
good. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, what I wanted to say is we should not confuse abdicating power with delegating power. And anytime you hear yourself saying, I expect the IEBC to come and then it will save the country, we'll be able to get a president, or to be responsible for it, because they know if I fumble here, I am in trouble. That is delegated power. What they had for this time is abdicated power, which is why we're having to hope that the IBCs, we have to hope that we can find a candidate for ourselves so that we can be able to abdicate our power to that candidate, and then that candidate can save the country. That will never happen. As long as the power we have is abdicated, it will always serve the interest of the people you have abdicated it to. But as long as the power is delegated, the power
anybody listening, NIS or otherwise, we love the country, but we do not owe anybody love. We love the country as it is, but we do not owe anybody love that holds any office. Our allegiance to the state is cannot be questioned. Our allegiance to institutions cannot be questioned. But we have problems and are very pessimistic with some people who are holding those offices, and rightly so. Nonetheless, I think there is hope. The fact that we are even having this discussion, but we need to reach out to more people, online and offline. Everybody a good night, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Everyone who was presenting is what he has. Kitu yenye mimi personally, I will hit some of president, the NIS. Then I'll come to the political side, the political arena. Yeah, wakati tunaongelea NIS, right now NIS wenyewe they are not functional. They are not functional. In fact, they are doing business. A lot of information they sold outside. They have decided to pursue their self-interest. Let the president alone. Even themselves, the people that are in that docket, they are no longer functional. But for us, it is an advantage for that because hawa watu ni watu wengine bure. Sasa hii pia wanatafuta kuacquire wealth kama president mwenyewe. Hiyo ni one thing. Alafu utapata kuna interest kubwa sana ya Somalia kukua hapa Kenya. Na sijui kwa nini president kama hao ndio walimfanta yeye kuwin election ya 2022. That's why they keep on demanding for more. Kwa sababu the moment mkitaka kujua kwa nini Ruto ako too much involved na Somalia. Last time tulikuwa tunasema Somalia wasichukue mafuta kwa
a minute, Mr. Crispinas, we are winding up, so I want you to go to the action plan. What next? What do we need to do? Just in 2 minutes, then we proceed, please.
Okay, thank you. This I'll just put what we'll do next about political. People should we should keep off tribal politics. As we align ourselves, we should figure out. People should not become so selfish of themselves. They want their people to rule this. They can just choose either side. If we choose the minority and the support comes from us, we don't fear. If we feel that we can prove enough to that person what that state. Remember, he is minority and he has been given mandate to a lot of people, so he cannot control us. In fact, whatever we want, he can control. Yeah, he'll get power, but he'll have a little control to be taken, a little power to be on his hand. So because if you are going to a tribal line with Ruto, because yeah, my personal appeal to everyone is that people should look Ruto in other way around, not in a large everyone and personal appeal. Let's look for somebody who will be potential, not be influenced by the bloggers. You know, bloggers serve many masters. We are not bloggers. We are there to fight for our country. We are not bloggers can sell the country, but for us, let's serve our country with the dignity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Crispinas. Let's move to Mr. Paul. Mr. Paul, please.
All right, thank you. I think I have about 2 points to put across. I think the first one is obviously having this conversation helps because you can tell with the way the NIS is coming and talking about things, and obviously they have intelligence, they know what's happening, and I think if they were very strategic, then it won't worry them. The fact that they come out and speak actually is a very good thing because that lets you know that's where they stand. So it helps you to strategize in the future, because even whenever they're speaking, actually we should be afraid when they're silent. I think it's better when they speak, because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Hence, you will know their strategy and how they're thinking. So we know already their plan. So that actually was a very good thing that happened. So when you know your enemy's plan, as much as they think they're listening and they're sharp, but they've already covered it by the fact that they actually state of certain they give a particular statement with what's going out there. You tell your voices are winning. So that's something you should actually know, and that's a hope that people should actually have. Obviously, there has to be actions plans, as we say, but every time we talk, we are planting a seed. The thought process, the mere conversation you're having, someone will go speak to someone else, you'll change someone else's mind, you will enable. And I've been out there and I speak to different caliber of people. Like even today I went for the game today, and actually it was good that it was a draw and there was no problems, because people were anticipating problems at the match, and that's a good thing. It shows like a maturity of Kenyans, as much as that, and that's what the earlier gentleman was saying. As in, Kenyans are mature, as much as they would like to do those distractions, having kingpins and all that kind of stuff. I think most people are mature. It's like the battle of now. The battle is in the mind, and the battle has been actually at the moment. The Gen Z have and the Kenyan. So that's my action plan. We keep on talking. Strategy probably alluded, as in they don't hold much sway. Whoever is there, like as much as we account that day. That day is on that particular day, Kenyans come out and we are willing to stay out there. And we're going to stand here and see that everything is done, everything is transparent. Forget about these forms that come out. We want to actually see where the boxes are going. It's transparent, verifiable. We can verify the box have not been moved, they've not been tampered. All the tickets which have been put in there, they have been counted. And you can even recount again with evidentials. That way they cannot win. As long as we're united and we form those kind of parallel with the IEBC and making sure that's verifiable, then we'll ultimately win. So that's my take for today. That's it. I learned.
Thank you so much, Mr. Paul. Mr. Academia, are you there?
Yes, thank you. My final remarks. One, we need to allow the institutions that we put in place to work. So there is no doubt that they have to work. And you see, this question of integrity and who can maybe be the IEBC chairperson, it must be a Kenyan. And we must understand that either way, it will be a Kenyan. So let us reduce the trust deficit, because you cannot actually tell if this person can be IEBC based on what they are currently, how you look at them, or what they have done, because where they are going is a totally different place. So how will they behave when they're already there? Because all these people have been IEBC chairperson before the eyes of the public. They are qualified. But once they step in there, I don't know what happens there. Then all of a sudden, people believe that they don't perform well. So from the outlook, we cannot say so and so can be IEBC chairperson to the extent that we believe with the outcome, because it has never worked. He has never worked there, or she has never worked there. So let us give opportunity for every Kenyan who wants to be an IEBC chairperson. And if they are elected, plus the commissioners, if they're elected, we must trust them, because we cannot change Kenya unless we go that way. Otherwise, we are not going to believe anybody or trust anybody if everybody we bash and all that. So let us, and again, let us acknowledge or recognize that we are not fighting a system that maybe we understand. I don't know why I keep on saying this, because I tend to believe over 60 years, we've been talking about the political class. But how come every time we change them, we don't see the result? Could it be the problem is the house that they sit in, or there is a way how they change when they get to that house, or what could be there? Because if you are a repeater in the same class, if you repeat it twice or thrice, we could actually see the result increasing. But if that result is not, we are not seeing the result, though you better not be in that class repeating, because you can't improve. So what are you doing there? So I think allow Kenyans to do what they want to do, because that is who we are. So let us not talk as if these politicians are from a breed, another breed, and we are from another, and yet we elect them. So we can't elect them, and then all of a sudden we pretend and if they are not doing what. Of course, you cannot dictate who somebody was going to do as to elect them, but that's what they'll be doing. So what do we need to do? People, you need to register in large numbers for those who are going to vote in 2027, because that's the only way we can change it. I've already told you in my stand that I don't think we can change the current status quo through the ballot, where we don't even believe we don't even trust the body who is going to carry the election. Once you don't have a trust in the IEBC, so why you do want to go and vote if you don't trust the body? It means you already lost that, and the result will more or less the same of what you expect. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Academia, for the final submission. Mr. Samuel, I see you come and you drop. Please, can you quickly give us your final submission before I go to Mr. Weston? Thank you.
Okay. I think I'm audible right now.
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like just to give a few pointers. Let's say, let me call them points, because I like to warn or to give these NIS people, because I know they are here, they are listening. I just like to tell them, according to how Kenyans are angry, and according to where the political pressure and temperatures are right now, if this thing is rigged, and if they take what Kenyans will and have been working for all this time, and what patriots who died on the 25th were working for and looking towards to, we won't have a country. It's a sad truth, It's a naked truth, and it's a truth that they must be told. If this thing gets rigged, I fear the day. I fear the day. Because people are angry. And it's not just, that is why this political class, they are trying to bring in the tribal card. It's not working. They are trying to bring in the drunk and the drugs card. It's not working. They are trying to bring in the military. Is not, the KDF guy is not working. They are trying, they've killed people. They've abducted people. This thing is not going out. It's not going away. It's not going. It's here to stay. And I like to tell them, they should sit down and think about where the country is headed. Because they are living in the same country as we are. We don't have another country. This is the only country we have. No one is going anywhere. We are still here. We will be here. That will come and we will be here. So I like them to just sit and think. Don't fight the people. Don't fight an idea that its time has come. Because this time or this idea, it's here and it's here with us. And we cannot look away from it. We cannot bash it. We cannot kill it. You cannot kill an idea. You can kill a lot of people, but you will never kill an idea that has been sown into the minds and hearts of Kenyans. This will not change, no matter how people you kill, no matter how many people you abduct. This will not change. It will not. As a matter in fact, it will continue. It will just go on mounting itself up, becoming a monster that you will not be able to contain. It will have a snowball effect, whereby you'll keep on trying to stop it, but it will not stop. You keep on trying to threaten people, but it will not stop. A day after people were threatened that saying Ruto must go, must be done according to the constitution. You saw what happened in KU University. There were chants. Ruto must go, Ruto must go. This is something organic. You cannot kill it. You cannot ignore it. The only thing that you can do is do what people are saying. Your time is over. And change is here with us. So it doesn't really matter what you say. It doesn't really matter what you do. It doesn't really matter how much money you have. It doesn't really matter whether you are backed by the army or whatever. It doesn't. The idea is here with us. And the worst thing that you can do is taking it away from the people or trying to take it away from the people. This idea was born by this government. It was born by this government. The day you heard about dynasties, who was the first one to talk about dynasties? It's these same people. That's when the idea was born. That's when the seed was sown. Now they are reaping the fruits. And it will not stop. I'm telling you, this will not stop. Let me just drop it there. Then give someone else time to speak. I think my 2 minutes are out. But my final words, tafadhali NIS, endeni mwambie Kasongo, ukiiba kura Kenya itaungua, utaingia ndege, utaenda. Hasira iko na watu and people are angry. Hiyo sio mimi. Hivyo ndio mimi ninaona venye kuna kasa ina ile hasira iko na watu. By the time tufike 2026 mwezi wa 9 hapo, most of these politicians that are singing your name, they will drop you like it's hot. Watakuwa wamekula yao wamemaliza. Dakika mwisho utaachwa solo. That is the truth. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel. Let's move so quick to Mr. Western, then Mr. Mwaura. Thank you.
Thanks, Pombe. One, IEBC is an extension of the state. It has been like that from the beginning. It's not going to change. Secondly, elections are never stolen on the D-Day, the day people wake up to go and cast their ballots. Elections are stolen way before. It's only a clumsy politician or president who waits for the D-Day to steal elections. The way Kibaki did it in 2007, that was extremely clumsy. What does that tell us? If the preparatory process to leading up to 2027 is going to be exclusively at the hands of the political elite, you don't have to rack your head. That election is already rigged. The other thing is that national dialogue is imperative because the national dialogues you've had before were discarded by the political elite. One, for instance, Kenyans did not want the provincial administration that was there before this new constitution, but it's still there. These people you see being called regional commanders or I don't know, commissioners, whatever they're called, those are relics of the provincial administration that Kenyans across the board, when they made their submissions, demanded that that colonial relic be done away with. Kibaki maintained it. Secondly, we come here and say the president is the symbol of national unity. But what happened was that the draft constitution that was supposed to be taken to Kenyans to approve was a parliamentary one, which means the president was meant to be ceremonial. And when you're ceremonial, you just sign things. You don't exercise executive power. So you can be a symbol of national unity. But the president we have, and we have had since independence, cannot be a symbol of national unity. You appoint people on the basis of ethnicity. You preside over corruption. You can't be a symbol of national unity. You can't. So what these people did, the committee of experts bent over backwards and accommodated the narrow parochial interests of the political elite. When the draft Kenyans knew this would be a parliamentary constitution, they went to Naivasha and bastardized it. And they gave us this. So those are just two examples to tell you that you can have a dialogue. But as to whether the submissions that Kenyans make will find expression in the document that will be passed at the end of the day, these are the questions that we're grappling with. And therefore, we cannot give up as far as dialogue is concerned. Why? Because the day we stop talking is the day we start fighting. The day we stop talking to one another is the day we It's where Congo is, Myanmar is. you can't like to be there. And therefore, not help them. In fact, they will accelerate their relapse into Raila Odinga. You come to that national dialogue as a Kenyan, and you come to atone for your sins, of omission and commission. A very candid conversation. We have not had it. We should have it. But be intelligent. You can tell that they are highly politicized. The moment you see the army, the military, making highly incandescent political pronouncements, you can tell that they're highly politicized because also handle those things. There's no insurrection in Kenya. There's no external aggression. So they have to keep quiet. But when they speak like that, what do they tell you? They tell you that they are partisan as far as the politics of the day is concerned. And therefore, if the military can be politicized as it is, the intelligence, what about IEBC? These are civilians. What about them? You expect them to be the only people who will be the last line of defense as far as the interest of the Kenyan people is concerned? You will be stretching credulity too far if you are to count on them. I learned. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Western. Thank you so much. Let's move to Mr. Mwaura, then Redemptor, then Dr. Milton. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me make my submission with the 2 points. A lot of people have complained why all these 6 years we haven't been making changes and everything. What the people should understand that Kenya, politics apart from being tribal, is an issue of money. And it's now this time that I think people are just waking up and knowing that no, there's more to money, and even this money that's given is not given to the whole tribe. If you come from a certain tribe and your tribe is in power. And regarding this constitution, someone has talked about these professional commissioners. We used to call them DO, DCs, and PCs. Very, very powerful by those days. The reason as to why the constitution is the way it is, because this is not the constitution we wanted. I don't know how many people know that the 2010 constitution Kenya we have is not the constitution we wanted. We wanted a far much better constitution, the one that Professor Pashi Arogai presented there at Bo, the one that was to be supposed to be progressive, but because they had to make some compromise, and again, they also never wanted Kibaki and his people never even wanted us to have even devolution. It was now it was an issue between Kibaki and Odinga, and they never wanted us to have a parliamentary because we wanted a parliamentary election. That's the kind of constitution we Kenyans wanted. And so when they rejected that one, they also had rejected devolution. And that is when Odinga threatened that, okay, I'm going to oppose it. And since Kibaki feared that he will have humiliated the second time, then he agreed on devolution to be part of the constitution, and parliamentary, he removed it. But if we could have a parliamentary kind of constitution, we could be very far. This country could be full of prosperity and you name it. Now, last point is this. I will quote this from the book that I normally refer to when I want wisdom and the ornament. That's the Bible. In Luke 14, 28, Jesus there is quoted as saying, who among you want to build a tower doesn't sit down and consider the cost? So that if you want to build a 5-story building, you don't need the second story, and then you have no funds, you run out of funds and everything. What has that got to do with what's happening in Kenya? Have we sat down and counted the cost of what we are facing as Kenyans? So I think the next discussion should be how are we going to sit down and count the cost of this being called Ruto that we want to remove from power? Because this person who has been in politics since 1992. For those who remember, youth for 92, who were carrying money with the bags, that's when he became millionaire. He was made by Moi.
Fear, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And all these people, I think you've seen in the bad movies, all these people who go around following the bad guy, all these guys who do all the dirty work, the one day they get fed up and they're the ones who actually do the shooting, and they shoot. When they say shoot him, they turn the gun on the bad guy, because everyone gets tired of a bully. Everyone gets tired of a tyrant. So I'll say that the saddest thing for me this evening is to see an educated man who's gone up to university level shame mental health. At a time in this country when we are grappling with mental illness. And so you look at the guy who's going crazy and who is smoking and inhaling stuff and injecting themselves as the one with mental health issues. To become a mental illness, mental health problem. So to shame people who are struggling with mental illness, when the biggest chunk of it is caused by the social problems, and the social problems are caused by the political problems. The economic hardships are caused by the political problems, where you've held people hostage by being the powerful ones. It is the law of jungle to struggle for survival. And that's what is happening in this nation. Someone has just said that if you rig these elections, then you will be responsible for the anarchy that might come after that. Consider yourselves warned. Not that we are threatening you that we are anarchists, to share it or you, our young people are. And the last thing I'll talk about is the role of a midwife. Africa, before this conventional medicine came, all babies were delivered by midwives. Presently, because of bad health services, bad healthcare system, very few pregnant women, mothers, ever see a gynecologist. And even the few that see a gynecologist, chances are they are delivered by midwives. And in places, in some societies, they celebrate the midwives. In other places, they take them for granted. We are in a state in this nation where people are midwives. Whether you're the one and they are the most qualified to deliver babies. They understand the pregnancy more than the scientific knowledge. An old woman who could just touch you and tell you your baby has a breech without an ultrasound. So in this time, Kenya needs midwives. Midwives at every constituency, at every ward to deliver a new child that will deliver Kenya, because all that we are going through is because we elected people who have personality disorders, and the people who voted for them also have personality disorders. You know, conmen are classified as people with personality disorder. They actually can put up a show and pretend to be something they are not. And that the citizens get attracted to these people, it also means they also have a problem. So whoever is saying that, oh, the young people are on a mental illness, go and check your psychiatrist. I had to see a psychiatrist on behalf of somebody, and they told me hao watu naonanga wakiwa na ukali mingi, human rights activists, what, they are all borderline. They are very gifted people, and so doctors, if they don't understand you, they put you in a class of your own. So in this time, Kenya does not need any more NIS and statements or chief of general staff or the minister for this and that, or politicians who are feeling sorry for themselves. We just need midwives to deliver a process. We might not change the system in one day, like academia says, but we can actually begin to change our mindsets from the ward level. The fact that 20 million is used at a stop. I heard the former deputy president saying, take the money, but don't use it for this. Don't mix it with your other money. It has chama. We start there. We start by saying, let's stop this lack of integrity of saying we are taking money because it is ours. It was our taxpayers' money. No, it is stolen money. And you saw, if even in a normal situation, if you take stolen money, you're an accomplice. You know, if you're handling stolen property, you're an accomplice. You're an accessory to a crime. So let's start there. Can we, like Hillary keeps saying, what are the actionable? First, the tribal cocoons, go and tell your people, just because somebody from your tribe becomes president, we don't care. We just we care about a better country. Even if we go and pick the Institute of Primates, Pale Karen Blixen, and we say we want a primate to lead us, it might be better than someone from your tribe who is corrupt and who has a capacity to kill and to destroy. So I'll just finish by saying to all the midwives there, trust yourselves in this process. Don't get carried away by the bigness of the big wigs in your own small place. Daniel Kinyo, Samuel, whoever is here who is talking to people on the ground, be committed to the cause of just convert two people who think Kamwana was a good president just because it's from their tribe. Someone who thinks, no, this time we will not vote for anybody else. No. We people from the mountain, we Kamba people, we Luo people, our Baba has said, now we're in government. I went to a social enterprise and I looked at people and I just watched them for a bit and I said, are they in government? Like when you see happy Kenyans, you almost wonder, are you people benefiting from being in government? And the biggest scam, the biggest lie that we've been told by people who vote for devolution is one of the reasons they have joined the government is because this issue of money not being shared equally. The biggest scam is to see people going to State House to discuss development. We know what you're going there to do. So midwives who are delivering a fairer Kenya, we might not get there in 100%. Please go and tell your constituents what people go to do in these meetings. They go to discuss 30% shareholding because they told us openly. And I think it was Daniel Kinyo or Danguin, another young man called Danguin, said, for the first time, they are in the back office. That server that was never open, it has been open. You know what goes on. So your responsibility, if you are a midwife, there are some who are committed that huyu mtoto akizaliwa tutamkanyagia chini hatazaliwa, but there are midwives in this platform tonight who will deliver a child that will save this nation. For all your commitments, keep going. For those who it's just a job, you think that job will never end because kazi yako ni kutusikiza and then you go in, that job, as surely as the sun rises and sets, that job will end and you'll continue to be a Kenyan. And by the time you're fighting for a better country, you'll be too old. Your children will be lost. You'll be more mentally disturbed than all of us with small here and there mental illnesses. And for those who are grappling with mental illness, we wish you good health. We wish you get treatment for it. There's no shame in your pain. Mental health and mental unwellness is a disease. just like all the other diseases that we struggle with, the adversities we see. So for shaming people who have drug and alcohol problems and who are mentally disturbed, for shaming them, shame on the one who is shaming them. There's no shame in our pain as Kenyans because we are in pain. That's why we come here today. And thank you, Hillary and Pombe Kali, for trying to give us a dose of wellness. And to all the speakers, asanteni. Have a good evening wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Redemptor. Dr. Mofo, we are winding up, and I wanted to give Dr. Milton to wind up. But before I give Dr. Milton, I will give you this opportunity to give us your submission, just 2 minutes, then we proceed to Dr. Milton. Dr. Mofo.
Thank you, Pombe Kali. I am impressed that you are able to accommodate me within the shortest notice. Unfortunately, I've been erratic, but I've been, listening. I just want to say the following: but the communication by the KDF, it is unfortunate. KDF need to remain in the barracks. That's where they belong. If anything, and if they think there are matters that they need to intervene in, they need to recall the troops that are in Haiti. Otherwise, we're going to collect more corpses, we're going to have more people coming for burial and interment, which is unfortunate. Because we know they do not have the support of the world. The US have withdrawn their support. Nobody is with Haiti, nobody with the Kenyans in Haiti, and therefore it is unfortunate and it's unconstitutional for them to be there. Mount Kenya, he is unwelcome, he is not wanted there, and clearly people have emphatically said the same. So what we've got to do is we need to keep our chance of he must go loud and clear. And we think and we hope that the rest of the country will be able to support us. Ultimately, as I say, there's somewhere I listen to, and people are saying that the definition of leadership in this nation is what Babu Owino is. Because he's been voted to be the best parliamentarian today. I want to emphatically and categorically state the following, that Mr. Babu Owino is not a definition of any leadership. He has failed. He's a person who shoots everybody the way he wants, and nobody can stop him. And therefore, we need to have a better definition. If we don't do that, we will fail miserably. I can talk a lot of things. I know it's a lot of courtesy that I'll be given the mic, and I want to end there. Thank you, guys.
Thank
you for calling out an attempted murderer.
Thank you, Dr. Mofo, and thank you, Mr. Chacha, for that. Dr. Milton, please.
All right. I first of all want to appreciate everybody for taking time to be here tonight, this afternoon, this morning, wherever you are. It takes a lot of courage to be able to get out here to speak every other day, and consistency is not an easy thing to. I want to end by making a few statements which may be controversial, but I will make them nonetheless. One, I think there was a very important question that has been asked, and I think it is more of what is the cost of this Ruto must go chant? How do we achieve that? And what will be the ultimate cost of achieving this? Because I think that is a question that some of us have not asked. And for such a long time, I have kept saying that this is a race that does not end merely because we have made one step.
Dr. Milton, please. Dr. Milton, I think you are breaking so much. Can you check your maybe signal or system? I think you are breaking a lot.
All right. Is that better now? Is that a better Pombe, can you hear me now?
Still not better.
All right. I'd like to just hold on a second, I guess. Is that I'll keep talking and then you'll
Okay.
tell me if it
You're
is
good
getting
there.
better.
Yep.
Yeah, so the thing I'm saying is that we need to ask ourselves, what is the cost of this William Ruto must go thing? And William Ruto is not just William Ruto. We are talking about what he represents as masquerades to be a leader. Is that a better signal now?
It's better.
Yeah, so William Ruto, who masquerades to be a leader, we must ask ourselves, what will it take for us to get rid of him? And that when we answer that question, we will then know what it will take, what we are asked to do. But I want to sum it up this way. And I go back to what has been said about the constitution that we have today. When the clamor for the new constitution started, there was nothing constitutional about it at the time when people were calling for a national dialogue. So I want to back the statement that what we need is an honest national dialogue. We must refuse to be boxed into this idea that when calling for better governance of our country, we are anarchists. The anarchists are the people who are pretending to be leaders when essentially they are plotting against the Kenyan people. So the point here tonight, fellow Kenyans, is that we must refuse this kind of blackmail that what we are doing is unconstitutional merely because we do not agree with William Ruto and what he represents, which is corruption, bad government, and we cannot expect appointed through cronyism and nepotism and incompetence can deliver anything for us. We have to be wiser than just driving ourselves into a situation where we will be told, you approved this, where were you? Your members of parliament approved this. What happened? When the constitution of Kenya, when Bomas was first constituted in 2001, there was still parliament. But then the people had no confidence in that parliament, and Bomas was constituted. Where in other members of the public were allowed to be a part of the Bomas Convention, the Katiba Conference of 2001 that sustained itself until we had a new constitution through the committee of experts that was later appointed. So what we are saying, we must not allow this charade of IEBC selection to go on. What we need to call for is that we will not be party, we will not allow, we will not approve that selection panel. Whatever they send to the president will be null and void because they do not represent our interests. And remember, the constitution talks about something called the aspirations of the people. Aspiration is a higher standard. That is why we are always aspiring for better. So, what I am calling for here tonight, and this is my point of action, is that in each of the 1,450 wards, 290 constituencies, we must now, as pressure point, start the collection of signatures where we are saying we reject this political class, we reject these processes that are skewed, we reject all this blackmail by the different agencies of state that we have appointed, and we are saying we want a national dialogue where we will gather as the people of Kenya at the Bomas of Kenya or KICC or wherever it is to discuss how we are going to reset our country and return Kenya to constitutionalism and rule of law. We have to begin that, and I want to say this, Hillary, and everybody that is here, that we begin the collection of signatures on two fronts. That if we get 1,000 signatures from every ward, we will not go the IEBC way. We go the court, the judiciary way, where we present a petition of all those signatures from each of the 1,450 wards. And we move a petition where we say that the people of Kenya, having lost the confidence in the executive and the legislature, petition the judiciary to find that an assembly of the people, in whichever format we shall have established, we seek a prayer from the judiciary that the people will assemble, and such assembly will come up with a way, a structure of interim governance in a way that will return the country to constitutionalism and the rule of law. That is what will help the country get out of this charade, and we have an interim structure of governance that will assure the Kenyan people that they have an opportunity to reset the country and put it on the right trajectory. Because the economic liberation agenda is about reforming and transforming the executive and the legislature, because that is where the majority of the rot is. Because the IEBC is, by extension, like somebody put it here, as a part of the state, because it is financed, it is fed, it is operated by the state. So there is no way you can expect that it is going to be independent in a system of the executive and legislature that is broken. Fellow Kenyans, in conclusion, and we are going to start this petition of signing the petition for the High Court application, so that we say that enough is enough. William Ruto is not going as William Ruto. He is going with everything he represents. And it is unfortunate that this is an era where the Gen Zs are woke and they are willing to come out and sacrifice in their large numbers. But we do not want the cost of William Ruto must go to come at the cost of human life that can be avoided. We want to do it constitutionally because we are law abiding. So we are exercising our power as we have given to ourselves under Article 1. So that at the end of the day, we are not boxed into this system where people want to blackmail us. William Ruto is plotting together with his now brother, Raila Odinga, who I hold a lot of respect for. But I dare say that at this point in time, they are planning, they are plotting how they are going to stay in power. There is nothing wrong in the Kenyan people coming together to also plan and plot on how they are going to remove the oppressors from power. So that blackmail must end. The CDF and Mr. Nurdin Haji must be told off. They must be called off for abusing their power, for trying to blackmail Kenyan people that they cannot plan against a leadership that has turned into a dealership. We must rise up above that, and we must be able to tell them no. Lastly, like Redemptor said, you are complicit if you are going to accept corrupt money, like Rigiji is telling us. We must say, hiyo pesa mmetuibia, hatutakubali kukula hiyo pesa, kwendeni huko, rudisha hiyo pesa. We do not want it. What we want is that a minute in office is way too long. You must go. Let all of them go. And if they refuse to go, let us begin that process of signing those petitions and we send them home by popular revolt, which is provided in the constitution of Kenya and according to the aspirations of the people, because the people aspire to be led better, to be governed better, to be served better. Fellow Kenyans, I can speak until the chicken come home to roost, maybe until tomorrow, because of how emotional these things are to some of us. I want to say, if there is any one better good person left in our country, Kenya is still loved by God. And that God who is in heaven will again smile on the Kenyan people. We just need to know that this is our opportunity to end oppression in the hands of masqueraders, leaders, dealers masquerading as leaders. Thank you, good people. Mungu awabariki sana. God bless our motherland. Let the conversation continue even outside of this space. Barikiwa sana. Asante sana.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Milton. And I'll take this opportunity to thank you all of you who got time to be with us since for the last 4 hours, 22 minutes. You've been here and you've stayed that long just because you are fighting for the good governance and you are fighting for a good Kenya, the tomorrow Kenya, the Kenya we want. And I appreciate your stay here, Mwaura Western Church Academia. Mofo Samuel, Redemptor, and the diplomat, and all the listeners who stayed there, because without you in the listener there, we will not be here, because we are here because you are there to listen to us, and also you are part of this change that we are fighting for. And let us just keep it every Sunday. Please just join us, and we'll be having this conversation until we get the type of the country we have, the governance we have, and all that. And thank you, Mr. Hillary, for always having time and scheduling this and giving us this platform. This is the platform for us, those who cannot go out there in the on the ground as Bunge la Wananchi. This is our Bunge la Wananchi, and this is where we air our views and where we share what we want and how we want it as the good citizens of Kenya. So thank you, Mr. Hillary, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to co-host with you today during this conversation. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Pombekali, for the good job that you've done. And thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate you. We really humble ourselves every Sunday that we're here and we take our time to converse. We will not keep tired. We will keep it going on. Every Sunday we are here as Pressure Point team. But I want to assure you that every Monday from tomorrow to Saturday, we're usually on the ground and see what is happening. And the action point, the steps that's as we'll take those steps, and when you are thinking that you want to be part and parcel of the team, inbox me, and then we can have a side chat and everything. And now we see what to do. They are listening all over. They are listening. I know they are listening, and we will not get tired as Pressure Point team. We'll keep conversation because Kenya is our country and we love it so much. May God bless you, and may God be with you until again on Sunday, same time, same place, 7 p.m. to the time that we'll finish. I'm very sorry today we have lost for a while, but thank you so much for keeping time, and also thank you so much for sitting here. And may God bless you. God bless you throughout the week. Do what you can, and let us come to have a solution. Thank you so much. God bless you.